it's a particularly exciting one because 2 weeks ago, before we went on vacation, we launched a very cool feature which allows people to share spells. And for the last couple of weeks, people have actually been doing it. We have thousands of spells now that are accessible at your fingertips in game, and we're actually going to try some of them out today for this update.
Is there thousands? I haven't actually looked up them.
Well, there are definitely thousands there, and they're not all shared publicly. But.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome. There's at least like 10 of them, if not 20. At least. You never know. All right. Where are we going?
We're doing CodeSpells.
Oh, yeah. This is Steven.
No, stop saying that you're me. We'll confuse the listeners.
I messed up, so I just wanted to lay the blame on you. So there was a bug for a while where people couldn't log into the game, which was kind of interesting.
It makes it hard to
that's fixed now, so that's good. I'm gonna turn down the volume. Can you guys still hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. Let's do it. So that's fixed now. There was a bug where if you put in a password that was not 8 characters long, you would just get locked out of the game and it wouldn't say anything about it, which was great. I thought it was actually funny because someone reported the bug and said that in the bug report said that the bug happened when you didn't put in a password that was at least 8 characters, so they saved us a ton of time. Because I was like, when someone first reported it, I had no idea what was going on, so we started looking at it, and then finally someone submitted the bug that said what was going on, which was pretty great. That's good.
I like it when people debug stuff for us. Yeah, no, that did save us a lot of time. That would have taken us quite a while to figure out exactly why people weren't able to log in.
Yeah.
Weird corner case we probably wouldn't have thought of.
Yes, we owe this anonymous person a box of Oreos.
Yeah.
Or similar.
Good.
Similar
it's
cookies.
Good. Let it be stated, if you save us a bunch of time, we'll ship you a box of Oreos.
Well,
you just said it. You said it. Now you're going to have to do it.
Steven, don't be promising things. Steven, I danced around it for a reason, Steven.
Whoa, what are those cool things in the background? Those are awesome.
Oh, those?
Oh,
yeah.
Those. Yeah. So, one of the things that I've noticed when I walk around in the game is that there's very little differentiation between parts of the map. So, I decided that I would start making different assets in the north and the south that would go, like big assets that would go on top of the mountains. So in the north, there's a slightly different color grading on the screen. It makes it look a little bit different overall. And then also in the north is where you get those big crystal extrusions coming out of the top of the mountains. And then in the south, you're going to have these big curvy arches. All the rocks are going to be a little bit rounder and smoother, and I'm going to start adding moss and stuff to the rocks so that it just looks a little more like greener in the south and a little bit colder in the north.
So we're in the south right now.
Yeah.
So do these curvy rocks have a name?
Not really. I think the file name is Big Hooks.
Love it. Hook-shaped rocks.
Big old hooks. I tried a bunch of different shapes, actually. I made a bunch of weird assets and tried to stick them in there, and I think the hooks are the coolest because they're definitely distinctive. So, if you see them off in the distance, you're looking in a more southerly direction.
Yeah.
Which is just a cool way for people to orient themselves.
So they're like biomes, essentially, or they help.
They help to differentiate biomes, yeah. As we get further into like things that only exist in warmer or colder climate, as we start adding more stuff, they'll just kind of be a visual cue to let you know where you are. And there's some dead trees. That's also new.
Whoa.
There's not these logs, but there's dead trees, like standing dead trees.
Yeah, I haven't seen any yet, actually, which is funny.
It's really odd because there's so many.
Yeah, no, usually they're everywhere.
Yeah.
There's one, maybe. Yeah. What's up, yo? How you been?
Cool. Oh,
We're
that's
just
an
gonna hang
awesome
out
tree.
next to this tree. Um, yeah. So we've also, this is kind of a sidetracking, I guess, but we've also been working on we're redoing a lot of the fire stuff. We have another programmer, Mark, who's been doing a lot of awesome stuff. He actually just finished implementing the sand and water actually interacting with each other because they weren't for a long time, and that was driving me crazy. So that should be out soon, which will be great because you can actually have the sand affect water again. Um, so that'll be good. And yeah, for the fire system, we want to have more interesting stuff happen with the fire. Like those trees, I don't know where they went. Those trees uh, will do interesting things with the fire simulation. Also, they'll catch fire and stuff like that. So we want to make it
Yeah.
a lot more interesting in
Yeah,
terms
we
of
want
stuff going
things to
on.
be super clear. Like, this is a dead tree, so it really looks like it will catch fire. Like, it looks like kindling, so you can tell, like, if you cast a fire spell at it, it'll. Oops, no collider on that yet.
Yeah, I forgot. I I
I
I I like right before I said I wasn't gonna do it because we noticed it and
That's all
I
right.
just went ahead
I
and did
added them. I added them like 40 minutes ago. I added
they're
colliders to all of them.
they're
So,
they're just kind of there, It's just the it's cool.
They're illusions.
yeah.
I'm gonna use Mr. Jason's. So I actually downloaded Jason's Hoop Tosser spell. It's pretty much the
Yes.
coolest spell in the world.
I like to think so.
And this is pretty much I am not good at this. In fact, I don't know why. I'm just gonna embarrass myself with this.
You gonna toss it through the hoop?
I'm gonna try.
You are a basketball player. You can
I
do this.
Went way
oh
over.
no, it didn't. It totally went in.
Did it?
I don't know. It looked to me like it did. That
You'll
one's going
know.
way over.
You'll
No, I
know when
thought
it
it
goes in.
did. I don't know. Let's
You'll
see if
know
it.
because it'll bounce around and it's
No,
super
it was a
cool.
swish, yo.
It's a swish.
Enough of my great spell.
Nah,
Let's look at some cool user-made spells.
I'm better at real sports. Okay, so I actually haven't even seen these. So yeah, we have this whole new system where you can click browse here.
I think that was a zing. I think Adrian just zinged me.
What? How did I zing you?
He said, "You're better at real sports."
Oh no, not better than you. I'm just saying I am
You're
better.
like, I don't have time for this fake sport.
No. That's not what I meant. I wasn't saying anything relative to you. I'm just saying you're good at this, and I'm not.
Yeah, you just
I'm not.
insulted everyone who plays esports.
I have not. I am a big fan of Rocket League, which
All
That's
right, all
true.
right.
and
I'll
Halo.
forgive you.
Halo and Rocket League are fantastic. So there you go.
Sure
So
are.
yeah, people have been uploading stuff, which is great. So we can go through. I had no idea that we supported these characters, so that's great
Yep,
to know
apparently
that
we
our
do.
fonts work for that. And yeah, um,
Yes, we pre-selected a couple of these.
yeah. So there's a couple of issues. Actually, if I try to search, it kind of makes this go a little crazy. So we have a couple of things to fix up here, which we'll be fixing early next week. Or yeah, we want to do an update for next Friday, tentatively, and we have some other cool stuff that we'll probably talk about soon, um, with the spell sharing stuff. So anyway, I'm getting distracted. There's a lot of cool stuff. You can add a description to your spells, so people have been doing that. I so far haven't found anything inappropriate, which is good. We will be adding like a way of flagging spells. There's also kind of a scary situation where using eval you can do bad stuff, and people shouldn't do bad stuff. But we're gonna have all sorts of warnings and make sure that as much as possible we avoid people doing bad stuff to your computer if you download their spell. But the biggest feature that we'll add in terms of that is the ability to flag spells as inappropriate or dangerous to your computer. So yeah, all of that. I mean, there's all sorts of cool stuff in being able to share. There's also some scary situations that we have to worry about. So anyway, I pulled some other spells. If anyone has any other spells that we can show off later in the chat, I don't know how many. I don't think there's actually too many people in the chat. But if anyone has any thoughts later, we can definitely look at them. Here's a fun one. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I have some spells by other people that do not include the word teleport. This one's pretty fun. So this one is on the forums, and it makes a beautiful sine wave, and it explodes when it hits something, awesome. Which is great. I think it's I think the person that made it mentioned that it was from Metroid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which is pretty cool. It's exciting. I forgot what else I was going to say about it. Oh yeah, there's lights on the orbs now.
Yeah.
So all the orbs just automatically light stuff, which is pretty fun because if you shoot a bunch of spells, you can light up an area pretty well.
Yeah, there was a spell called like Daylight at Night or something that somebody made that like casts like a star field around you.
Yeah.
Which is really wild.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. I wonder if we can find that one. I forget what it was called. That one was awesome.
I think it was called Daylight at Night or something like that. But
I actually haven't seen this one yet. I don't know. This one relies on Academy Exploder. This one probably does as well. Oh, that's cool. So yeah, this one, the description of the proximity mine was that it would check to see if there was anything close, and then explode if there was anything close. So a hidden landmine that will detect anything within a 5-meter radius and explode. This includes rocks and such. Right now it's explode. So these are cool because they're like almost like tutorials.
Yeah, really yeah. CodeGlitch has been making a lot of these really cool, very instructive spells.
Whew, yeah, awesome. There's so many like on the forums and outside of the forums. Also, there's a wiki with stuff. We are writing up documentation, but someone has been keeping up with what we do and writing documentation for it, which is amazing.
Yeah.
We know that documentation is one of the biggest parts of programming, so I think it's really bad that we haven't done it yet. So we definitely are doing that. But it was interesting that people had already built some part of it so that we could, at least for now, redirect people to that while we're finishing all that stuff.
Now, does this proximity mine work with the croakers, do you suppose?
I don't know. I'm out.
Can we try it with a croaker if we see one?
I'm kind of busy right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, if you're too busy.
Taking off.
See if we find a croaker.
Oh, awesome.
Or one of those elemental things. They still in the game? I haven't seen the elementals.
Yeah, there's a temple with an elemental in it, and we really do need to get back to the elementals at some point because they kind of stink right now.
Yeah.
We had all sorts of great ideas for them. We just never finished implementing them.
Well, they push you around and they're real annoying.
I don't really see any croakers. There's some cool forests. Is that a croaker over there? Let's go find out.
There's only one way to find
That's
out.
not a croaker. That's a fire tree. Ah, jeez.
You gotta find some water.
Ah, jeez.
Yeah, Jason knows. So, you gotta look for the tracks.
While we're here, we can use this spell.
I really want them to leave tracks.
Yeah.
I want that. I can't promise it, but I want it.
This spell is really fun. Basically, it just we'll find a croaker in a little bit. But this one does an evaluate unity script, and what it does is you can delete trees in a region, which is pretty great. I mean, I just think it's
awesome.
funny that people have access to like basically break the game, which
Now,
is
Oh man.
do they grow back? Do they grow
no,
back if there's water?
no.
Nope.
But I'm
No.
sure you could write so you could definitely write a spell to add trees to the world, which may have been done already. I don't know. It's just great that I
Yeah.
can just like run around and make the world not have any trees. Yeah, we do at some point we do want to make the cycle for trees a little bit more complete. They don't have really a dying or growing cycle, so we do need to come back to that as well at some point. But here's a croaker. What are we gonna do? Oh, you want to do a proximity line?
Yeah.
Croaker?
Let's do it.
All right. I'm just gonna let him walk away, and I'm gonna place it next to his house like a jerk.
That is really mean, but I like it.
No.
I like it.
It's not mean.
Oh,
So
I love it.
it keeps using air magic to see if anyone gets close.
Yeah.
It's just waiting. But you can see we need to add better transitions for the different effects and stuff, but you can see that it's flickering because it's doing a... Uh-oh.
How long will it last?
I feel really bad about this.
Yeah, you should. You should. This is pretty evil.
Why is he not going to his house? Hey,
Because he knows, man.
He's too
he
smart
knows
for you.
it's bugged.
Well, he sees that thing. He's like, I don't know, man.
He's like, the FBI has been here. Ah!
Or
get him?
he's
You
just
got him.
Frozen.
You got him, right?
Yeah.
No, he just froze up.
Huh?
Boom. There you go.
What? Oh, are
Alright,
you
I'm
watching the
frozen.
stream, Jason?
Well, yeah, because it's too choppy for me to see the
Oh,
other.
yeah. I was like, I definitely got him, Jason.
Yeah.
Stop judging my video game playing skills. I'm still all right. I can make it through this hoop. This is a nice beginner hoop right here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at that first try. There's also
Yeah.
particle effects for things hitting each other. Crazy concept. We just before the big update that we did in December, we just went through and did a bunch of stuff that we'd been wanting to do for a while. So it's kind of hard because we have a lot of stuff that we want to do, and since everything in the game is so different from other games and experimental, that it's hard to I guess prioritize what we want to do when. So we have like a backlog of a bunch of stuff that we want to do that doesn't feel incredibly pending, and it's just nice to have moments where we can run through all of those. So cool. Yeah, I don't know if there's any other spells.
What does nuke do? Does that one work?
It depends on. I didn't read the description, so we need Academy Explorer, which we can go get.
Yeah, let's do it.
So we need to clean up the whole browser interface. There's a lot more spells than we expected.
Yeah, which is a good thing.
Which is really good. It's nice, but it's definitely causing some performance problems. Are we you wanna nuke the?
Oh boy, do I.
Yeah, that guy stinks. Sorry, brah.
Did you get him?
Whoa.
Yeah. I don't think you got him yet.
No, I got him. I got this.
No, but he's still alive. He's still alive.
You don't know that.
He looks alive to me.
He doesn't even have a chance. He doesn't have the. This is unfair. He doesn't have the AI capabilities to notice that. Whoa.
Yeah, woo, you got him.
That particle effect needs to be fixed up. There's a nice little lake down here. Now that elemental's gone, we can just come down here and chill by it without having to worry about some dude shooting us with stuff.
Can you evaporate it with a nuke?
Yeah. Yeah, see how it created a dip in there? Oh, that's
Wait,
cool.
so
Whoa!
How many? Whoa, snap! You gotta wave. How many nukes does it take to evaporate this whole lake?
No
Spam it,
one
spam
will ever know.
it, spam it,
Good.
spam it.
I can't. They're expensive, dude. I
Oh,
don't have
gotcha.
all the man. Mr. Mana over here. Mm. It creates some cool waves.
Yeah, it really does.
Um.
There's one that creates a crater in the ground that was pretty cool too.
Oh yeah. Do you know what it was called?
It might be the comet one. There's one called like Comet, and I think it like shoots a comet down from space. It's a crater in the ground. It's so cool.
Okay.
I'm saying this, but I might be getting it wrong. But there's so many spells I get.
Yeah. So the search
Asteroid?
wasn't. What about
It's not an
Comet?
asteroid.
Is it
Yeah,
Comet?
comet.
Try it. Give it a try.
All right. I'm gonna view it. Yeah.
It looks safe.
One of them, it definitely leaves a crater in the ground, which is
Oh, that
pretty
was cool. Yeah, this one's pretty great. That's quite a crater too.
Mhm.
I know
Yeah.
someone made a meditation also, which was pretty cool.
No way. For real?
Yeah, someone made one where like these like asteroids started falling. It's
Wait, how do
pretty
they even know
crazy.
how to do that?
There are example meditations, Stephen,
Oh,
even if
okay.
it's very cryptic and confusing and not a very good system.
No, that's amazing.
But yeah, there's example ones, so you can actually just look at them and see how they're made.
Wait, do we need to set up sharing for meditations too?
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
morning.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's pretty. Yeah. So, yeah, we're adding a lot more features to spell sharing. Should I talk about that now, Steven?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Cool.
What kind of features?
Uh,
First, I've heard of it.
so, Steven and I have been working on more spell sharing features because Steven actually works on the project, even though he acts like he doesn't. But so we started working with GIFs because GIFs are great, but GIFs are also a horrendous file system.
It's GIFs. GIFs.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna make everyone mad.
We don't have to do this right now. No, that's cool, Steven. That's cool.
It's graphics interchange format. It's
The-
not
the
graphics.
people that created it decided how it was pronounced. I have no real. I just learned it as GIF, so I don't really care.
No, that's what I say too. I was just trolling.
No, you don't. You say GIFs. That's fine. I don't really care. I just think that if you say GIF, you just don't know what you're talking about. But I mean, it's not like a big deal. Anyway, so we set it up so that you could actually create GIFs, but they're very large files for what they're supposed to do. So now we have it set up, and it's actually not hooked up in this build, but you can make an MP4 so at any point in the game, you can click a button and it'll save out the last 10 seconds of the game, which is pretty cool. So if something crazy happened, you can just click a button and it'll just upload. So what it does is it creates an MP4 and it uploads it to our servers. And we're going to make it so that with spells you can set a link to an MP4. So you can make a video of your spell and then link it. We are playing around the idea with allowing people to just set an arbitrary MP4 link as the link for the spell, which is a little scary, but again, if we have like flagging and stuff like that, we can be cautious about it.
Yeah, but either way, you'll be able to fill in those empty rectangles that you see in the interface right now.
Yeah, these have been here. These are here for GIFs, so you'll be able to see like a preview GIF of the video or of the spell, and you'll also just be able to share cool moments, even if you don't associate them with a spell. You'll be able to see cool moments that happened. We might have we might have a couple of ways of recording, but at least for now, you'll be able to like just click a button to see the last 10 seconds. We might also make it with another button where you can start recording at a certain point and then stop recording when you want to stop. Yeah, you'll be able to watch all your MP4s and share them online and do cool stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's really exciting. That's probably the number one exciting feature of the spell sharing that we're doing. We also want to make it so that you can sort by popularity of spells, so based on how many subscriptions a spell has. We want you to be able to sort by that, so you can see like how many times a spell has been subscribed to, or how many people have downloaded that spell, so that way you can kind of get an idea of more popular spells, stuff like that. So yeah, we're adding all sorts of features like that while working on other stuff. We're also starting to work on networking stuff, which is really exciting. We've done several things with networking up until now, but now we're like really, really focusing on it and trying to push it out as soon as possible. We don't have an extremely detailed timeline for that because there's a lot of scary stuff that involves networking, or a lot of scary stuff involved in doing networking, but it's coming along. We said in the past this isn't going to be an MMO, so I always want to reiterate that point. We're not making an MMO. We don't know how many people will be allowed to be on a server, but it will not be. It won't be more than I don't know. We don't know yet, but it won't be. At most, maybe 32 people on a server, and that's really optimistic.
Yeah.
So most likely it'll be less than 32 people on a server, and we don't know the exact number. We have a lot of simulations and physics to synchronize, so it's gonna be a little bit. It's gonna be a lot of work, but there will definitely be ways of playing sports and running around the same world and doing all sorts of cool stuff. So we'll get there, but we'll have more exciting stuff to show for that next month.
Yeah, I want to see some wizard basketball.
Yeah, which is the type of basketball that Jason could beat me at.
That's true.
Oh,
It's totally true.
That zing was just like that zing had been coming for a while, you know.
Yeah. That zing was true.
Yeah,
I think it is true.
I didn't actually zing you earlier, though. That's the thing. I
know.
But now I've zinged you, so.
Yeah, this is just for the viewers listening. Adrian is actually an incredibly good basketball player.
Yeah, he really is.
I am not.
When I play, he plays against me when I come to visit, and the rules are all I have to do is hit the backboard to get a point, and he has to actually make it in the hoop, and I still can't win.
What? No, we did that one time, and you did pretty well.
But I lost.
I don't know if you did.
So modest.
That sounds unrealistic. Anyway, yeah, so that's exciting. Other than that, yeah, those are the main things that are going on right now. The game has been on sale for a couple of weeks now, and that's been great. It's great to have all the support we've gotten so far. People seem to like the game, which is really exciting too. It's always scary when you're building a game that's so different because we are, like I said, we're inventing a ton of stuff, and it's hard to tell how people are going to like it. So it's very reassuring that all of the feedback that we get are things that we are hoping to do anyway, or not all of it, but most of the feedback that we see, or the recurring feedback, is things that we're hoping to do. So it's very reassuring, and it's been good. So it's yeah. It's been.
Is there grass growing like right in front of you, like right before your eyes?
Yes. Yeah.
What is causing it to grow?
It's popping in.
It's the humidity, the heat and humidity simulation creates grass dynamically. It pops in. So Mark was working on another foliage system, and that's very close to being done. But we kind of put it off for a little bit while working on other features that we thought were a little bit more. At least have more of a gameplay impact right now. So we want Jason and I just will sit and stare at the foliage and just rant about it. Like that's actually what we do on the weekends. We just
y'all need to get a life.
Yeah.
Mark did a fantastic job, and I can't wait to put that stuff in the game because it's so cool. It's just not. We just it's performance issues and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of grass.
Yeah, so it's close, and we'll get it in soon. But yeah, having Mark has been awesome. It's been great to have another programmer, and he's been doing awesome work. So it's really exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's take. There's not a lot of people on the chat, but
Yeah,
I want to invite those
checking it
of
out.
y'all who are there to ask questions. If you have any, we'll try to answer them.
Yeah, totally. I yeah. So yeah. Someone there's mention in the chat, but I'll say it in the video. Just to have it in the video, but again, there's no ETA on multiplayer. It's going to take a bit. Ballpark, at least a month or two of work, and we'll be releasing other features along that time, but it could be that it takes longer to finish multiplayer. That is the top priority in terms of big features, and we're going to, especially now that we have Mark, we're going to keep moving other features along while networking gets done.
So we got a great philosophical question in the chat. I like this question because it's the kind of question that like we discuss all the time.
Yeah.
Do y'all see it? I'll read it out loud, I guess. But
yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So, question: in a potential create ice spell, what elements would that spell use? My first thought was water and air because air would cool down the water. But then I thought that water and fire would also make sense in a way because if you have water and then use fire to take heat, fire would make sense. Would it? This is exactly this is what we talk about all the time on the weekends.
Yeah.
When we're not staring at the foliage system.
Yeah. We're thinking about that.
We have terrible weekends. It's just
lose to Adrian at basketball, complain about the foliage system, and then discuss the philosophy of elemental magic.
Yeah, I think
this
is a good question, and I think it's good because it goes back to like how we're making these elements a little bit different than people expect. Like, and your second instinct is correct. Like, fire is linked to heat, and air is not necessarily linked to temperature at all. So it would be something like that. However, ice is something we talk about all the time.
Ice is a great thing, and we've talked a little bit about it in the past, and we have a pretty solid design for ice that we just haven't implemented. But the idea would be that you could turn water into ice so that you could freeze it and make it slippery, which would be really cool because objects could slide down it and all that stuff, and you could create stuff from the ice. So that is definitely something that we want to do. It's just we haven't done it yet. But at one point we were even strongly considering changing the names of the elements so that Earth was like forces, and water was fluids, fire was temperature, and air was like sensing. But that's just not. It just doesn't sound very cool. But yeah, for us, air is mainly about doing stuff that interacts with the world and interacts with the players. So if we do anything like any powers that would do something visual or sounds, or we've talked in the past, and we still really want to do this, about the idea of being able to redirect sounds or play sounds in another location. All of that would be air, whereas fire would be heating up objects, cooling down objects. Also, the idea of destroying and creating objects would all fall under fire. So yeah, that's a good question.
So from another user here, one dear to our heart, Mr. 711. When multiplayer is released, are you planning on releasing mod tools or tools for server owners to make a server and add some mods, I guess, to that server?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know. So we will have the ability to do meditations on the servers, so you can define what meditation you're running on the servers. We haven't talked about mod tools, but you should be able to mod um, the server through the meditation. Yeah, so the question is an administrative mod so for kicking and banning players. Yes, we don't know the details of that, but we'll definitely have a way of kicking and banning players. A lot of what we can leverage, a lot of that stuff we can leverage through Steam. And since we are running the game through Steam, we can use a lot of their tools for doing that stuff. So they have a lot of security stuff and ways of doing that. But generally, at least the way that we are picturing multiplayer, it will generally be a peer-to-peer thing. So you'll be like, hey, I'm going to play with my friends, and then you can obviously set up a dedicated server if you want other people to join a server that's dedicated and going. But yeah, generally we expect it to be more of like a Minecraft style situation where you can do those things, but usually it's you connect with people that you know.
Yeah. Will there be any time-based spells, for example, freezing something in place for a few seconds? I feel like these guys are reading our minds.
Yeah, Jason. Yeah. So we talked about that a lot, and we actually so separately from time, we have a concept for being able to freeze objects in place with either with earth magic or air magic. But time is a little bit scary. If we do stuff with time, um, it's very hard to do anything with time in a multiplayer game. I mean, it's hard to do in a single
Yeah.
player game, but in a multiplayer game, it's actually kind of impossible unless
Yeah.
everyone experiences the time dilation or it's localized. So we have thought about doing some stuff like that, but we don't have any big plans for doing stuff with time as of right
But
now.
I bet somebody could come up with, like, for a particular object, I'm sure someone could end up writing a spell where it kind of records where it's been and then kind of has it retrace its steps.
Yeah, totally.
So maybe on an object by object basis, you can get something that kind of feels like going back in time.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we've thought about the idea. We've also talked a lot about the idea of since you can record stuff now, that you could project that in the world as a little like Star Wars esque. Am I allowed to say Star Wars? Is that illegal? Are we
Yeah,
gonna get
yeah,
are we
yeah.
gonna get sued? As a
No,
Star Wars esque
I
like
think
little holographic projection of the thing. It wouldn't be 3D, but if you have like a little window where you can show a video stuff. Um, so yeah, that could be used, for instance, to like trick animals. Like you could do a projection of something that you did earlier, and that like to the player shows a video of them doing something, and it's but to a croaker it confuses the croaker and it makes them chase the projection or something like that.
yeah, that'd be cool.
So we could do stuff like that, but yeah.
Are you thinking about adding something like elemental staffs? With that, I mean a kind of staff a player can create that grants you more mana of a certain element. I guess there's kind of two things in there. There's one is the idea of being able to create items like staves, like kind of a crafting system, and the other is items that you equip that change your stats. So,
Yeah. Um, Jason, do you want to talk about that? I know we talked about it a while ago.
Yeah. I mean, we don't really know what stats are yet.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to say how we would modify them. But,
Yeah.
We obviously have mana that we could possibly modify, like certain things you could add to a staff to give yourself a little more of a certain type of mana or something like that. That's kind of the only variables we have right now to play with. But as we keep going, we really want the players to be able to mess with that stuff on their own.
Yeah.
Because anytime you introduce a system of like statistics and progression, it has to be balanced. And some people might not want it in their game, or some people might, and then you're balancing against things you can't control. So
Yeah, and we do want
um,
there to be certain things that we also have another design for a very simple, and this would come in handy for multiplayer as well. We have a lot of the work for a spell tree,
mhm.
but we also had a very light design for being able to do different things as the player, like as the player to be able to like do a cool jump, or to Jason really wants to have like a surfboard thing that just appears or
Mhm.
you kind of slide around like in tribes. Um, so I think there will be certain features of the character that we might be able to do. We don't know specifically for that, and we don't know if it'll be tied to the player or to the staff if we do something like that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I just said doo doo.
Yeah,
Um,
that was
uh,
funny.
yeah, yeah,
Everyone
We
laughed.
have a question about the Kickstarter backer staffs, which
yeah,
is totally my department, and
yeah.
I have made one of them, and I can make more soon.
Yeah, so one of the things with that is that there's not really they won't make much of a difference right now. But we did also want to wait till we had the spell sharing stuff, because it'll be easier for us to associate having that item with your account. So that should come soon.
Yeah.
We are doing that though. We haven't forgotten. We've
By
that is
the,
that is that is what we do during the week. We just talk about that.
by the way, Adrian Baxter 900 posted a pretty cool link. You've probably seen it before, but I had not. It actually looks like a pretty sweet Unity plugin for controlling timescale on a per object.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I have seen that one. It's awesome.
Yeah, it has 5 stars, and if y'all don't know this, I know y'all don't know this, but Adrian will not use a plugin unless it has like 5 stars, or at least he grumbles about it if it has anything less than 5 stars.
Oh, I'll grumble about it no matter what. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I've seen that plugin. It's really cool. The problem is we have to incorporate it with everything that we're doing. That plugin wouldn't work for our simulations.
That's
It
true.
wouldn't work for AI and stuff like that. So we'd have to build all the AI or rebuild a lot of the AI around that. And it's also not built for multiplayer. So it would be it's definitely a possibility, but it's not part of our design, and it's in there's so many great ideas when building a game that it's hard, and it's hard to it's called feature creep in any large project. It's really hard to stay within the boundaries of the project,
Yeah.
um, and that sounds awesome, but I am also certain that it would introduce all sorts of other problems. So if we were to do something like that, it would happen after we're finished with everything else. So um, right now, doing something like that would kind of dip into everything else we're doing, which is a very scary feature to add.
Yeah.
Anything that like affects every other thing in the game is very scary, and it could end up stuff like that is hard to plan for, because it can end up being something very quick or something that takes several months to do. So we have experimented with stuff like that in the past. So it might be worth experimenting with something like that in a slightly modified or smaller version and try to estimate how long it would take. But yeah, there's not any plans to do that right now. I think it would be a little bit too much to add on with all the stuff we already have to finish up. So yeah. Um,
Yeah, damaging spells for multiplayer is a question. That's kind of I know the second we make multiplayer, people are going to want to try to kill each other. So I suspect there will be lots of public violent spells that pop up on the
There already are many, and
oh yeah.
they're very cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. People are really cruel to croakers. It's
Poor croakers.
I mean, they're kind of asking for it.
Yeah, they're not very nice.
No,
Yeah, they don't do much that's endearing except
drink
gurgle
water.
water. Yeah, they gurgle. It's cute
Yeah.
when they're like, "Ruff, ruff, 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 ruff." I think that's cute.
To the croakers.
I'm a croaker enthusiast myself.
I mean, I think croakers are fantastic. I don't like to hurt croakers. Actually, I'm very
I try to save them when they get stuck in gravity wells and stuff.
yeah.
It's good karma.
Yeah, we're actually currently the game is saving how many times you save croakers. I'm just kidding. That's not a thing. Please do not repeat that. That's not a real feature. All right. So
We
there
could
was.
say that though.
It would be, yeah. No, we're not. Just Stephen, focus.
That's a great idea. At the end of the year, we should award a most croaker saves kind of badge or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
Okay. Baxter mentioned it might be cool if there were mana crystals, which increase your maximum mana when near them before letting you as more powerful spells than status could. Yeah, that's awesome. Stuff that modifies mana and stuff like that, we definitely want to do. Those types of things those types of things will be the most fun in the project when we get to a point where we can just make something that takes us like 20 minutes and be like, okay, this works, and it works with everything. But those are, yeah, well, that sounds great. So we'll definitely, we're trying to get as fast as possible. We're trying to get to the point in the project where we can just like start to build something that has a goal and is fun and can be like focused, and then we can keep modifying that thing as we go and keep perfecting it. But we still have a lot of big systems to build, so it's still not there, but stuff like that will be really exciting.
Yeah. Cool. Well, questions are winding down. We're almost at a full hour here. Yeah. But yeah, it's really fun. I mean, I'm super excited by how many public spells there are. It's definitely much more than we expected. It's a great problem to have. We're going to kind of scramble to keep up and give people a way to kind of sort through those and find the ones that are of interest to them. One of those is through movies, the other's through a ranking system.
Yeah.
But I just with the amount of fun that we've had just playing with people's public spells, I know that that's going to be something that kind of really attracts people to the game. And the more people play the game and share stuff, the more fun it is to play, and the more cool things there are out there inside the CodeSpells ecosystem. So
yeah,
definitely trying to promote that.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's just great. Like, it's great that there's so much community support for all those things too, for tutorials and all that stuff. It's been amazing to have all those things, because we generally don't do. I mean, like a tutorial and something is a lot easier once you have a more complete version of the game. So we haven't really spent the time to do that. So it's been great for new players and everything to have all that support and to have people building all these spells to show off the features of the game and everything. So that's been awesome.
Cool. Well, so a big thank you to everyone who showed up, and to everyone who watches this later. Thank you to the community. We definitely couldn't be doing it without you. And we'll see you next month.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
See you next month.
Bye.
Bye.